guess my cat just wants a little nudging going on. I don't know. Maybe he'll show up on camera. Who can tell with him? Praise Lolth. So thank you, Derek, for offering that starting tomorrow at 11 a.m. Your Central Time, right? You're 1 hour behind me. Or are you Mountain Time? Are you 2 hours behind me? Central. Okay. Got it. So, 11 a.m. Central Time, Friday. Derek is opening up 1 hour blocks at $10 an hour, and he will sketch characters, really whatever you want. And you can continue it if you like what he's doing. And if it's not something personal for you, such as a character, an NPC, a villain, something along those lines, as he said, you could challenge him and have him draw something that you could watch him squirm a little bit as he tries to conceptualize and draw things like My Little Pony fan art, furry art, yaoi suggestive, chibi, pink fluffy bunnies, etc. And he will do his best to try and accommodate that, even if it's out. This seems to be a very popular phrase that's coming back around. If it's not in his wheelhouse. TJ says, "Well, praise Ellis Trey." Are we gonna have a throwdown between TJ and Derek here? I almost thought that was a Larshali at first. I'm like, well, so you're worshiping Derek's character? She is a priestess. Oh, there we go. So Derek says you're getting the idea, TJ. Oh, that winky face. That winky face is up to no good on Twitch. Well, now y'all can see here that I have my player's handbook. Well, maybe not praise, more like acknowledge the faint presence in the back of my mind. Your character, lawful good male paladin? Was it a devotion paladin? Oh, speaking of NPCs and such, I have my shirt on, right? Essential NPC, do not maim, rob, or kill. Oh, you decided to go for female. I thought you were playing a male drow, and that was part of the challenge. Oh, well then. Oh, there you go, bread and butter. Derek's got you covered. Yeah, Bubonic, I appreciate you asking, and I trust that, I trust what you're posting there. By the way, Bubonic, I did want to bring up that the old character generator spreadsheet has been retired, and so we gave our moment of silence, and we're kicking around the new hotness. But I do want to give you a shout out since you're here. I did this last night as well, but since you're here, Bubonic, you took my document based character guide, and you put it into a really good like an Excel spreadsheet form, and it has since evolved. Yes, that was Blood Deuce. You caught on. And so what I want to do is introduce, well, I guess for the second time, the new character generator. And that is as such. How about this? DM Catalyst, howdy to you. You're coming in at just the right time. We're on the ground floor of beginning to build a new character. Now, as you can see, this is a little bit upgraded. I can choose. I can choose which expansions I would like to access for contributing to the rolls on here. And so I do have my own little tab here, fortunately. But if we just go to what we normally do, which is the core rule books, right? So Player's Handbook. And then I have the M Morgs, the Medi Morgs filter. And what that does is it adds, if you remember, we would always roll for a sub-race, so to speak, for Tieflings, Dragonborns, and Half-Orcs. Or, I'm sorry, not Dragonborn. Half-Elves, Half-Orcs, and Tieflings. To determine if they favor their, one side or the other. And so in this spreadsheet, this has now been represented. And if we take a look at all the options, we can see that there's still the 9 races, right? But here is... music's a little... thank you for telling me. The things that you all hear is different than the things that I do. And so if it's a little overpowering, thank you very much for bringing that up. Bubonic, this was done by Trustaflumph, a.k.a. Jeremy from D&D Time. All right, so we have our character sheet. It sounds good now. Awesome. Thank you, DM Catalyst, for the feedback. We have our blank character sheet that's ready to go. And let's take our character generator out for a spin, shall we? We click on the dice roller to open it up. Bada boom, look at that. And now we can begin. So, first things first. Let's determine if we have a female, male, or a multi-class character, and that is... I did see that bubonic one, yes. We're going to roll a percentile and find out. We have a 20. We have a female character. Ziggy? Hey. Oh, and you know what, Ziggy? This is 6 months. Check out your sub badge. You have gone from green to yellow to now orange. Your spice is increasing. So thank you very much for that, Ziggy Storm. Hola, yeah. Oh, check out that. That's a vivid orange. That's a good salsa con queso. Yeah, yeah. You're going to be hanging on to that, and then you will reach the ultimate spice soon enough. Same things happen to you. Yeah, DM, I'm sorry, I just saw that part of the comment. It happens, and that's why, hey, feedback is important. Oh, what am I going to do? Get sore at someone saying, oh, you're a little too loud when, I mean, see... now I'm deafening myself, even though it's normal for you. So, thank you. Soon. Very soon. Thanks again for that, Ziggy. It is always appreciated. Now let's roll a d10 for our race. 2. We are rolling a dwarf. Now, this is alphabetically, right? This is done alphabetically now. It's not as it was presented. Well, you know, it's still the same races. We're just presenting it differently. So, which dwarf? We have a hill or a mountain dwarf. We're going to roll the d10 again and go odds or evens. Evens. We have a female mountain dwarf. All right, now that collapses. And look at this. The Morgue's distribution. This sounds like... It's a very interesting title. It almost sounds like a Tom Clancy novel, or a, if not Tom Clancy, oh shoot. Who's another sort of like political thriller novelist? escaping me. 'Cause Tom Clancy, I think, is more warlike than, you know, conspiracy stuff at, you know, in the White House, in the halls of the Supreme Court kind of a thing. Oh, John Grisham. John Grisham. The Morgue's Distribution sounds like a Grisham novel. So let's roll a percentile and figure out where in the alignment spread our character is going to fall. 22. Neutral good. Very well. Neutral good. As a dwarf, we are a medium-sized. If only just, we're a medium-sized creature. The girl who kicked the hornet's nest. Question mark? I'm not sure I understand. Is that a... The Hunt for Red October is one of my favorite movies. That caterpillar drive, that's important. I can't recall the name of the author offhand, TJ. But if anyone out there knows, help TJ out. So a neutral good female mountain dwarf. Now, at which level are we going to generate her? Roll a percentile. 91. Oh, a level 19 character. Very well. Someone who's she's put some work in. Is epic level. And because she's level 19, we have the option of including up to 5, unless she's a fighter, up to 5 ability score improvements or ASIs or AKA stat bumps. I'm going to roll a percentile and let's figure out how many ASIs we could replace with feats. We rolled an 87. We're going to replace 2 of her stat bumps with feats. There we go. We have a placeholder for it. Now let me scooch this a little bit over. There we go. Next up, the background. Now, as you can see, the list has gone from 13 to 18, but that's because we have sailor or pirate, noble or knight. We could go back to the 13, or if we keep it spread out like this, then it will, instead of leaving the indecision to be made later on, this is going to force us to react and make decisions in order to have this character come to life as we roll. And you know what? This is the whole point of trying to present things differently and shake up the formula a little bit. Stieg Larsson, says Bubonic One. The girl series was all about conspiracies. Oh, so is that stuff like the girl with the dragon tattoo? I'm going to roll an 18-sided die, and we're going to figure out which background. Oh, by the way, let me show you how... let's say that I opened up Curse of Strahd, right? You see how it added Haunted One? Let's add the Sword Coast Adventures guide. Check it out. We're now up to 32 backgrounds. We want to add Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica. In fact, let's take the player's handbook off the table. Let's pretend we're rolling up a Guildmaster's, just a pure Guildmaster's character. Bada boom. There you go. Welcome, Black Wolf. All right, let's hit the 18-sided die. Number 15, a sailor but not a pirate. Our sailor background. Now, we're going to collapse this. Our subclass sources. Do we want to have things from Xanathar's Guide, right? So here's our 12. And we can manipulate, right? So if we keep it player's handbook only, here's this. Now, if we add the Dungeon Master's Guide, you'll notice, boop, Oathbreaker and Death. With the note that they're traditionally evil. However, as part of the new way of approaching characters, I don't necessarily want to wait for an evil character to be generated, because you don't have to be evil to play a Death Cleric. Look at Celine on Tuesdays. Celine is not an evil character. You don't have to be nefarious to worship death or to want to study it or even to respect it. And also, if you're an Oathbreaker, you could have broken an oath to to an evil cause, right? You committed yourself to a noble purpose, but that noble purpose had a couple caveats that you took umbrage with. Or an Oathbreaker could honestly be, you want to get into it. If we make a starting character or a character who's become that, it adds a lot to a story. You don't like the Sword Coast, you prefer the Moonsea region. So as the DMG is a core book, and that's what I tend to stick to. Now, Friday and Saturday, all options are on the table. We're going to go ham. All options are on the table for the characters. All backgrounds, all subclasses. I'm talking even the D&D time stuff. I have no problem giving those boys over there a good look. Who says Celine isn't secretly the big baddie? I haven't not said she's the last boss of the campaign. And hello, Diadems! Alright. Here we go. Boys and girls. What is the class and the subclass of our character? We have this nice shiny golden D12. Why don't we roll it and find out? We rolled 5. That's a fighter. And now I'm going to roll a D3 to determine the subclass. Change this to a 3 and hit roll. We rolled a 1. We have a Battlemaster fighter. All right, now we can collapse this. There are a couple of class features for the fighter. Well, I mean, I guess the one here. Battlemaster, though, we are going to be able to get some other options, but those are more of a manual choosing to who she is and an extension of her personality. However, something we can, I mean, if we really want to roll them randomly, we can. Something that we have traditionally rolled randomly, though, what is her fighting style? And so we're going to take a D6 and find out. 4. Great weapon fighting. All right. And now physical attributes by race. I love it. Check it out. So we have a mountain dwarf, right? From the pull-down menu of all available races. Aarakocra, Fallen Aasimar, Protector, Scourge, Bugbear, Centaur, the different Dragonborns. I mean, the minutia to this could be really neat. Let's go to Mountain Dwarf and select it. Now let's roll a percentile to find out where in her life she is. We rolled a 75, so she is a middle-aged mountain dwarf. And a middle-aged mountain dwarf is 157 plus a D70 years. 14. So we have 171 years old. The base height for a mountain dwarf is 4 feet. So now we are going to roll 2d4. We're adding 3 inches, so she is at 4 feet, 3 inches tall. And we're gonna take, we're not gonna take that. She's not a halfling or whatnot, where we take the inches, multiply it by 1 pound, and add it. We're gonna roll 2d6. So 4. 4 times. Wait, I'm dropping out. We do multiply it. So we take the 3 multiplied by 4. That's 12 pounds that we're adding to her base weight of 130. So she's 142 pounds. And remember, that is not with her gear. You know, if she's wearing heavy armor and all that, it's not counting that. This is, she wakes up in the morning, she's got, like, you know, a t-shirt and her PJ pants on, and she's like getting up all bleary-eyed to go brush her teeth or whatever. Well, direct all praise for the looks of it to Trustaflump, because he did a fantastic job with this. Bubonics clarifying, not really the Moonsea, but the Cormyr region. It's up for debate if it's in the Moonsea region. There's really only one other thing we have to do now. As a sailor doesn't have sort of an origin, right? There's not really different types of sailors. I guess there's technically pirate. But we went with sailor, and that's fine. So now we're going to roll 2d8 for the personality traits, and then 3d6 for the ideal bond and flaw. 6 and 1. 6, 1, 4, 6, 6. 6, 1, 4, 6, 6. I don't know what those mean, and that's absolutely fine, because these are just a placeholder. We're going to explore our character more in depth now. We have the prompts. We have everything that we need. So now it's time, class. I hope that you have your player's handbooks, as you always should. Right? Come on now, you know this is a workshop stream. If you have your player's handbooks open to chapter 4, we are going to begin with the background. I know that the player's handbook instructs you otherwise. I like doing it this way because I want to know who our character is. You know, we can say a male elven sorcerer, and that's fine. That can tell us a bit about a character. But I want to know who this character is. How does she make decisions? What did she do before she was an adventurer? And what are the considerations she's put up with through life that have helped her to survive to middle age? That have helped her to establish herself as this epic level influence in the world? And so a background can very, very much do that. And so here we will begin and go to Sailor. These are listed alphabetically: Noble, Outlander, Sage, and there we go, Sailor, on page 139. We have the technology to build them better, faster, stronger, says Diadems. Wanting to write my lit RPG, my zombie world, my superhero novel? I mean, if you want to keep all the different plates spinning, as long as you... Look, writing is writing. You can end up inadvertently making progress on one story, even though you're actively writing in another, because an idea just strikes you. Alright, as a sailor, we get skill proficiencies in athletics and perception. We are going to get tool proficiencies with navigator's tools and vehicles, water. we are going to get some equipment. A belaying pin, which could be just a club. $50 feet of silk rope. A lucky charm. And we're going to have this be trinket number something, and we'll roll that up in chapter 5 in a little bit. Right? So is she superstitious? Was this given to her by a friend? Someone else who served with her? We'll find out, and we'll see how this can affect her mood, her mentality, her history. Let's see. A set of common clothes. And a belt pouch that is containing 10 gold pieces. There we go. Something that we can still decide is, are we going to go with ship's passage or bad reputation? Just because she is neutral good doesn't mean that we can't give her this bad reputation. And it could be something that she just is known to be bad luck. She doesn't have to be aggressive. You know, she doesn't have to kick down doors to the tavern in every port to get a bad rep. It could just be disaster seems to follow her in her wake. Or she's mistaken for someone else. You know, there's another Dread Pirate Roberts out there, and she just she looks like the local franchise one that's been operating in this area. Ezreal, welcome. Her bad reputation is that she's a PC and not an NPC. Let's explore her personality now. Right, so we have a middle-aged, epic level, female mountain dwarf battlemaster fighter. Right, so she's very she employs tactics, and also a battlemaster. Well, we'll get to battlemaster. Let's discover her personality first, shall we? All right, 6 and 1. Personality trait number 6 states, I never pass up a friendly wager. Ooh. And number 1, my friends know they can rely on me no matter what. Very loyal. And especially if it's even on a dare. She wants to pull through. Her ideal is number 4, mastery. Let's scoot this over just a wee bit. I'm a predator, and the other ships on the sea are my prey. Yes, this does say evil in parentheses after mastery. Yes, she is a neutral good character. Yes, these two things can exist simultaneously in the same character. Remember, your alignment, and a lot of people can argue that alignment is kind of an old holdover from past editions. In 5th edition, it's a good way to look at how you express yourself. One of my favorite examples is a chaotic evil character can very much donate 100 gold pieces to an orphanage. Especially an orphanage in need that if they don't get those 100 gold pieces, they're going to shut down the orphanage, and where the kid's going to go. That doesn't have to be counterintuitive. It's just that the chaotic evil person expresses him or herself through impulse and more selfish lines of thinking. Is more prone to. It doesn't mean that you have to kick puppies in the street and burn down orphanages instead. Bad reputation for being a problem gambler. Although in this case, because that is supposed to get you things, if you're a problem gambler, well, unless she spends a lot of her money, I suppose casinos do give out free drinks and room and board and other things that are comped if you're willing to put up the money. Especially an orphanage is critical to their overall plans of world domination by influencing the next generation. Not that I would know, cough cough, says Derek. Bits can be used towards TwitchCon. You are absolutely correct, Diadems. A Chaotic Evil character will have a darn good reason for it eventually, thinks something will come their way of doing it. That could, well, but you know what? In the moment, this person donated, well, not this character, but this side concept character still donated 100 gold pieces, despite being Chaotic Evil, to an orphanage that needed it. And howdy, Pneumonica. You gotta keep him fattened up, says Azrael. So we can have this, like, mastery. Use that as a prompt. I'm a predator and the other ships on the sea are my prey.
For the fund.
Oh, thank you very much, Diadems. Makes a smoke screen. Here, I gotta change this. So that is gonna put it at 230.55. My goodness, thank you all so much. And so by that, it's actually gonna put us at also, a Chaotic Evil character would do a lot of good things where everyone can see them. Chaotic Evil isn't incompatible with good public relations. Exactly, Pneumonica. So, you're low on brain. Pneumonica, hey, sit back and let the creativity that we're producing here recharge your battery. Because you were running Savage Worlds Ghostbusters earlier tonight, if I'm not mistaken.
Fetch you with love.
Oh, Black Wolf. Hey, thank you. Well, that's going to that's going to pop this up to Shlomo. Welcome. What's on the mini menu tonight, Azrael? There's a freshly cracked brick of Ravnica, and this is box number 2. Of the 8 boxes that were in the brick. Tomb of Annihilation. This is box 3 of a freshly cracked brick. For Mad Mage, this is box number 2 of a freshly cracked brick of 8. Storm King's Thunder. I have 3 boxes of this left before I crack a new brick of it. And then I have Monster Menagerie 3. And remember, Storm Kings and MM3 are the 13/22 tier, instead of the 11/18 for the others. But I have I have 4 Monster Menagerie 3s left. And if I do blow out of those tonight, tomorrow, whenever, I do have a couple at the store that I could pull off the wall if necessary. Because I know a lot of y'all like that set. There's some really solid figures in there. Chaotic Evil is often creative, entertaining. If you order a lot of the boxes, not necessarily for the boxes, Shlomo. I do throw in extra figures if you adopt minis out of the orphanage that have already been cracked open. The boxes, not the orphans. Oh, poor orphans. For me, I don't get anything special. The wholesalers will sell to me. I might get a Christmas card. Have I scored a couple of Sturges? I have one in the orphanage, I think, bubonic one. I think that's it. I think I have one. If you wanted others, I think Trustaflump might have one and might be willing to trade if you can catch him around. Fox in the Box, welcome. So yes, this character is looking for mastery, right? I'm a predator. The other ships on the sea are my prey. If she takes up a profession like she's a shipwright, maybe she looks at the other ships as, I want to break down their design. I want to understand them. I want to conquer them and not be afraid if I see a new style of ship. I want knowledge. I want understanding. I want to crawl all over it and through it and explore. We have a neutral good character who can still have this very dominant personality. Yes, Fox, very much. I was appreciative. We just rolled over ahead into the following month's goal from last time. That'd be nice, Shlomo, but again, I get a thank you Christmas card from some of my distributors because of the orders. Get ready. Oh, it sounds like I gotta brace for impact. All hands on deck, speaking of sailors. Ooh, ooh. And we're talking about Hunt for Red October as well. Fox in the Box wants to engage in naval combat. But is it serious enough to fire the nuclear missiles? Whoa, what? What? Fire the missiles! Red alert! Yeah, oh my gosh.
Two Ravnica and some for the course, please.
Yeah, geez, Fox in the Box just nuked us. Oh my gosh. And also, thank you for the support on the boxes, too. So if we go 2 Ravnica, that's 18 each for the full pull, so there's $2 left from there, so that's 4. We're putting 100 and... Oh my gosh, 104. Whoops. Holy fazoli's. I don't know if any of you have fazoli's out where you live in your various necks of the wood. It's not a bad place. You know, I was a little skeptical when they first moved into town. You're like, Italian fast food? It works. It works. Fox in the Box, oh my gosh. Yeah, everyone, I mean, here, just sort of for folks who've been donating, Derek, because you dropped a bomb on us last night too. Look, for all of you out there, just if you have hearts, if you have love, if you have cheers, if you have whatever you want to spam, I think this is a celebration. My gosh, for all of you, and not just I don't want to just praise those who donate, because you know I definitely appreciate it. But for those of you who subscribe, for those of you who lurk, for those of you who follow, for those of you who recommend this channel to someone else that you know, for those of you who maybe are nervous because this is your first time, you're debating, should I get into this hobby? And you're willing to give us, not just me. I'd like to say I'm a pretty face. I don't have the prettiest of faces. But if you're willing to give us a chance, right, to lurk a little bit, to let us tell a story, to involve you, to make you more comfortable, to welcome you, I am appreciative of this opportunity to reach out and to meet so many different people like you. You think I have a pretty face? No, Mnemonic, if you wear glasses, you better get them checked there. Oh gosh.
Just a donation, no boxes needed. Take.
Oh, Shlomo. Thank you. Are you sure? I mean, there's some undead and there's some undead that you could pick up for that. Oh, wow. I'm getting dabbed on by Shlomo over here. Well, I hope my gorgeous face only backs up that look. I am an essential NPC. The success of the main quest depends on my continued survival. Do not maim, rob, or kill. And in the fine text it says, does not carry significant amounts of gold, named items, things along those lines. Fox, yeah, you did. I am truly humbled by you all. And, look, it really seems like going out to California in September is becoming a greater and greater, possibility. And I realize that I'm not going out there for myself. I'm going out there for all of us, right? I want to go there to meet people, to rub elbows, to, trade some business cards. I'm going to print some of those up. And I want to go to their workshops. I want to learn. I mean, if I see someone that I follow or whatever, I might go say hi. But I'm not necessarily going as a fan. I want to go there as someone who wants to be better and learn and bring back the experiences and share with you on Discord the photos and the documents that I might get, for, recommendations, best practices. Because if I can help with this information, right, a rising tide lifts all ships, my friends. And the success and enjoyment of your own broadcasts or your own watching on Twitch leads to better experiences for everyone else, right? Success is not a zero-sum game. It grows and it spreads, and it's something that if I can do my part for our community, I want to step up and do my part. Need to make a shirt to rep? That's not a bad idea at all, honestly. I mean, heck, depending on the designs. I mean, not only could it help, show off your design skills and your portfolio, and I'm glad to make attributions. But yeah, some Matty Morgs, some swag for me to wear out to the convention, or even to offer to other people here who love the inspiration, the storytelling, and to get involved. That would be excellent. Rubbing elbows report. Hey, Pneumonica. In fairness, rubbing elbows is not holding hands. Okay? I know how lewd holding hands is. Rubbing elbows, it's just what the kids are doing these days. It's 2019, Pneumonica. If we can't rub elbows, then come on, Lawful good Matty Morgs and one chaotic evil. Exactly, Pneumonica. Hell. Ooh, that's all right. It's in PG-13. I taught a college-level economics class, and when I saw the students' faces light up with that acknowledgement that a good deal does leave both parties richer, that was an awesome breakthrough moment, and I loved that. I love seeing that instill, that knowledge be instilled in them. Fox in the Box, thank you so much. Thank you for being a part of this community, for stopping by, and by the way, Fox does some art too. I don't know, Fox, if you have a like a deviant art, or if you're taking commissions or something, but Fox shares her drawings, and they're very expressive. And I like that you've been experimenting, challenging yourself. You're doing some perspective drawings, and it's very encouraging, especially for someone who's not as good an artist with drawing or other media like that. Maybe as a storyteller, I'm halfway decent. But to see that you all as the artists out there grow and develop and challenge yourselves, that's inspiration for me to try and continue to do the same. Yeah, oh, Derek, yeah, she got her castle back. And that was if you haven't seen the VOD of that, the legendary characters at D&D time, make this surgical strike to get her castle back. It's worth watching. I'm sorry, I got a little. We're here. We're supposed to be working, everyone. Come on now. This is supposed to be toil. This is supposed to be mind-numbing and excruciating decision-making, because D&D isn't fun. D&D is something that you do to try and be popular, and we can actually say that now in 2019 and not be awkward about it or ironic. And TJ, welcome back via Diadems with the continued subscription. Thank you so much. Oh, hey, Diadems. Yeah, no fun allowed. Absolutely. This is supposed to be, like, crushing you in lore and making fun of you because you don't know everything. This is supposed to be me pushing up glasses and saying, actually, and also imposing my character thoughts on you, whether you like them or not, and being absolutely closed-minded to the process of having fun. What's our bond? What's our bond, everyone? Our bond is apparently that ruthless pirates murdered our captain and crewmates, plundered our ship. Oh, hopefully it wasn't Mr. Plunderloot, and left us to die. Vengeance will be mine. We could be neutral good and still seek vengeance, or to avenge. If vengeance sounds a little too harsh, we can seek to avenge our captain and our crewmates. You crush them with lore, I emotionally eviscerate. And our flaw is, my pride will probably lead to my destruction. New Monica outmaneuvers and ambushes. New 2 steps ahead, Monica. Or if you go with the phrase that you see a lot in those, those Chinese cartoons, them mangers and animus, where the villain or someone will say, you're 10 years too early to compete with me. That actually, that reminds me of one of my favorite characters in Berserk. Is the one big knight Korbowitz, and every time he declares one of his techniques has been passed down through his family, the time frame, subtly, the time frame gets longer every time you meet him throughout the story. And by the way, everybody, it's not main storyline, but if you like Berserk, check out what came out recently. So it's some side story material, but if you're a fan, go to your local comic store and order this in. It's all nice and shrunk wrapped because you have to be protected from the monsters and the boobs. TJ can eat the whole horse. Haven't picked that up yet. Oh, like the series at all, Azrael, or just that issue? That manga. All right, we have our personality in place. I think we're getting a feel for our character. She's been through... Delcorin, hey, thank you for the host. I think we know she has a history, right? She's been through some stuff. You know, she's middle-aged. She's at level 19. And I think we can see how she went from being a sailor, right? From just, you know, a simple, you know, person who worked the rigging or worked in the galley or whatever, and has gone on to become this strategist, right? A chess player on the battlefield. So, and this could even go into our bad reputation if we wanted. Talking about local stores, I was able to visit a local store in Krakow, and I got Cards Against Humanity and probably the one place with the best English in Poland. The one place is in the game store. I have noticed, if that's the case, that because of the prevalence of English in games and game manufacturing, if you go there, there are many people who do tend to speak English and use it as common, to reference D&D, and use English when they play, because some material might not be available in their native language, or, you know, English as a second language is taught, and it tends to just be ironically, the lingua franca of many nerd stores. For a while, we had someone who lives down in Peru. It was Jose Gonk, and he would tell us about the local store where he goes, and you could find magic cards and whatnot in Espanol, but a lot of the people in the game store, despite Peru having very, very good Spanish skills, and I'll say why I said that in a little bit here. A lot of people in there just spoke English to communicate more universally. And now for the Peruvian thing, Peruvian Spanish isn't as accented as other forms of Spanish. And so Peru is often a very popular, like for call centers and whatnot, that, you know, for Spanish, for other Spanish-speaking nations and corporations, they have a very neutral Spanish accent. And so a lot of language and communication goes through Peru. 5e books could only be found in English for some reasons. And part of that is because, Shlomo, if they were printed in another language, like Polish, then the company would have to make sure that they have hired support staff, language support staff, for those extra languages. And it could just be economically not viable given the market. It could be a whole host of things. So Peruvian Spanish is to New World Spanish what West Coast English is to the United States. I don't know about West Coast. Probably more of the Midwestern. I mean, if we go upper Midwestern and then we get into Moira from Fallout 3 territory, that's more accented away. But it's just a very outside of Spain itself, the home of Spanish. Peruvian Spanish is the closest in pronunciation and accent to native Spanish. So it would be, think of this way. You could think of something like Mexican Spanish would be Spanish with the equivalent of English with an Irish accent. Puerto Rican Spanish could be something like a Cockney accent English equivalent to Spanish, or Scottish, or something along those lines. As the different regions speak Spanish with different accents and vocabulary, Peruvian Spanish is a very neutral Spanish outside of Spain itself. If we went to Russia, would Russian be common? Well, it is the native. It's the native tongue there. Dialects are a thing. Oh, hey, it's our Mountain Dwarf fighter. Doesn't have to be, but it's good inspiration. Let's see. Constitution increases by 2 as a Dwarf. Our speed is 25 feet. Climb, swim, fly. 12, 12, 0. We do get dark vision out to 60 feet because we have super special eyes. We have advantage on saving throws against poison, and we have resistance against poison damage. So poison, resistance, IRV, immunities, resistances, and vulnerabilities. And advantages versus poison. Dwarven combat training. Well, as a fighter, Dwarven combat training was just the gateway because we're proficient with all weapons. Tool proficiency. You gain proficiency with the artisan's tools of your choice. Smith's tools, brewer supplies, or mason's tools. If she would go on to be a sailor, Smith's tools could be very interesting, and brewer supplies could be as well. Let's see. Given her... Never pass up a friendly wager. My friends know they can rely on me. But she is mastery. She wants to master ships of the sea. Ruthless pirates murdered my captain and crewmates, plundered her ship, and left me to die. Vengeance will be mine. Left her to die. So if that's the case, what if we say that she was that she did work in the galley? She was a brewer. Then maybe she was thrown overboard in a beer barrel of her own, that she brought aboard. She was really proud of. And she was floating in a barrel until she was found, and her life continued on, just with a more vengeful aspect after that. So why don't we give her tool proficiencies with brewer supplies? Yeah, Delcorin is shaking the cane. By the way, Delcorin, how is your... Did you finish Mass Effect 2? Or are you still doing the side quests in that? We get Stone Cunning, which gives us proficiency in determining through history checks, aspects, histories, maybe even it used to be called Dungeoneering in 4th edition, which was kind of an engineering, things along those lines. And languages, we can speak Common and Dwarven, or Dwarvish if you prefer. As a Mountain Dwarf, we increase our strength by 2, and we have Dwarven armor training, but being a fighter is going to override that. So really being a Mountain Dwarf makes us a little taller and a little bit more burly. I did, but I'm substituting that reality... Oh, wait. For my own tonight when I rerun the end. Oh, so you finished it, but then you went back to do all the loyalty quests, and now you're going to finish it again for a different ending? Barrel Rider, don't let Smog hear about that, says Azrael. I may possibly have gotten 2 people killed, and one of them I refuse to accept. Uh-oh. Well, if there's spoilers, you don't have to spoil it, but uh-oh. You seem to be doing so well last night, too. Now that we've become a dwarf that is a sailor, we're going to collapse this, and now, oh, fighter. We're going to get 19 levels of fighter. Ooh, doggies. Look at that. Right there. Right there. That means we are sitting on 19 D10 hit dice for intrinsic healing. Because we're level 19, and our hit die is 10. Our armor proficiencies are going to be all and shields, weapons, simple, and martial. Now, it doesn't say all, because this does leave open that there are certain exotic weapons or racial weapons or things along those lines that maybe you need something extra special to get into. So it does just say the simple weapons listed and the martial weapons listed. No tool proficiencies, and our saving throws are strength and con, which really back up where our strengths and our cons are. Skills, choose 2 from acrobatics, animal handling, athletics, history, insight, intimidation, perception, and survival. Whew, this really goes over, I mean, Sailor already has, not survival, perception and athletics. So let's see. Friendly wager, can rely on me. If she wants to study ships or the like, maybe acrobatics to make her be able to, you know, because tumbling and such, tumbling can also help reduce fall damage. So acrobatics could be good. My pride will probably lead to my destruction. I don't know about insight. She wants people's cheer, but I don't think she's gonna do what she wants to get it. I don't think she's really about reading people's emotions. Oh, ruthless pirates, and she wants this. I think we're going intimidation. I think we're definitely gonna go intimidation and acrobatics. Not a spoiler, I just made a couple bad choices because I was tired, so I'm redoing the suicide mission tonight to keep that from happening. Well, if you end up broadcasting later, Delcorn, we might be able to come over and say hi to you. "19 guns are not a part of it." What do you mean, Shlomo? No Flynn bars allowed? What do you mean, Azrael? Also, Azrael, I will pop those boxes for you here when we get our character finished, if that's okay. Do you have time tonight for that? Or do you need this done ASAP? Guns are 5e exotic. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, it's DM discretion. Bombs, antimatter guns, or antimatter rifles, because those are in there. Explosives, grenades, and such. All loyalty missions were done, so that's all I had to do. I started around 5:30 and couldn't save after I started, so I was up until 6:30. Oof. All right, Azrael, cool. Thank you. All right, we have our fighting style, right? We are a great weapon fighter. Honestly, by the way, also equipment. We're level 19. We're probably not going to have our starting chainmail. It could be new and improved. So I'm not going to worry about spending too much time putting the starter gear on the character here. We are also going to get second wind, so we can have some recovery. We're action surge. We can take another standard action, which is it's good for multi-attacking. And at level 17, when we officially are epic level in 5th edition reconnoitering, or not, just I guess reckoning, we can actually use it twice per rest, but we can only do it once per turn. So we're gonna put action surge, 2 per long rest. We're going to choose our martial archetype or a battle master, so I'm going to worry about that later. Let's see what we're going to be getting from being a fighter, and then we'll apply any battle master concepts to her afterwards. ASI, we are looking at 4, 6, 8, 12, 14, 16, 19. We're looking at 7. So 2 of these are going to be feats. So we're still getting 5 ability score improvements, and then we're going to throw in our 2 feats on top of that. We are going to get an extra attack. And we're going to get the number of attacks increases to 3 when we reach 11th, and we're so close to 4 at level 20. But so we have extra attack, and that's going to be times 3. We are also indomitable. If we fail a saving throw, we can re-roll it. All right, so that's what we get. Is there a cat around? What's going on here? Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? Cats are always lurking. Yep, I see a tail over there. Mm-hmm. So we're not a champion. We are a battle master. You're talking racial weapons, so flint bars come to mind. I'm not familiar with that as a weapon. Action Surge Cannon has definitely saved my fighter characters multiple times, says Bubonic One. 2 feats, no peg-legged dwarves this time, says Azrael. Too bad a fireball and heat metal spells completely annihilated him. Oh my. Someone throw the Discord thing. Yep, thank you, Delcorin. As a battle master, we get combat superiority. We're going to learn some maneuvers. So down here, we're going to put maneuvers, and we're going to get a good handful. You learn 3 of them. You learn 2 additional maneuvers at 7, 10, and 15. So we're going to get 6 more. Our superiority, so we're going to put sup dice. We have 4 that are D8s, and we'll gain another at 7th and 1 more at 15th. So we have 6 of them. Six that are D8s. And the saving throws are 8 plus proficiency plus either strength or dex, your choice. Student of War. At 3rd level, you gain proficiency with 1 type of artisan's tools. Well, if she was on ships and she was a brewer, or even working the galley, we could give her, cooking tool proficiency. Or if the barrel is what kept her alive, and she also brews, instead of that, we could go for woodworking tools, right? She could be a cooper. Now, that also means that she could make some repairs on the ship beyond that. So, in effect, if we go by the Unearthed Arcana of ships in the sea, she would make a very good bosun. If I can figure out how to get those emotes to pop up, I think it'd be funny to have the GOT line pop up and make the bad man fly. I'm not sure. Although, hey, for tonight's Tomb of Annihilation, I did bring in Game of Thrones Oreos that everyone ate. We almost had another character death, too. Actually, almost a couple. Flint bars might have just been a first edition. They were rather akin to nunchucks. It goes to war with her rolling pin, says Azrael. Yeah, give him a good bonk over the head. I'm kind of getting, instead of the bad reputation, the ship's passage, because she is so notable. She survived. She has these skills in combat, but also out of combat. She's very competent. And so I think she could have an easy time finding passage for herself and others on a lot of ships because of just how well known she is. Know your enemy. Starting at 7th level, if you spend at least 1 minute observing or interacting with another creature outside of combat, you can learn certain information about its capabilities compared to your own. The DM tells you if the creature is your equal, superior, or inferior in regards of 2 of the following characteristics. There they are. So this is Know Your Enemy. Improved combat superiority. They're actually up to D12s. We have 6 D12s that we can use for our multitude of battle maneuvers. Relentless. Starting at level 15, when you roll initiative and have no superiority dice remaining, you regain 1. There we are. Maneuvers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We get 9 of them. Probably a lot of ship combat. So a pushing attack could be good to try and knock people over the rails. You can spend a superiority die to attempt to drive the target back. Add the die to the attack's damage roll, and if the target is larger or smaller, let's make a strength saving throw. On a failed save, you push the target up to 15 on a ship. Oh, heck yeah. Pushing attack, for sure. If she is a notable figure, rally seems to make sense too. You can use a bonus action, expend 1 superiority die to bolster the resolve of one of your companions. Gain some temps. Evasive footwork could be good. Increase your AC for a little bit here. And you might even be able to use that in a role-playing sense. If you're on a ship that's going back and forth, I don't know, as a DM, I might be open-minded to a fighter who said, hey, can I expend one of my superiority dice to not have to worry about the ship rocking back and forth, or to try and keep my feet in a storm kind of a thing. Ooh, Commander Strike. I think that'll be another good one for someone who wants to rally the sailors aboard the ship. Disarming attack as well. Because look, you don't always want to kill people. Sometimes you need information, or sometimes at a bar, if you want to assert dominance, which she does, right? She may be neutral good, but she has a dominant personality. To assert that, you know, it's easy to kill people. To not kill people is a strength in itself. To frighten the target, oh, a menacing attack. We're definitely doing menacing attack. Remember, we also gave her intimidation proficiency. Maneuvering attack is going to be important for this sort of close quarters combat. Goading. And lastly, a lunging attack. Right? You get the roll of the ship, and that teaches you to be able to like leap forward and stabilize as you thrust further away than others thought you might have been able to do so. She broke out the wooden spoon. Reminds me of a story about an NPC housewife from one of our old campaigns. She destroyed a 30th level thief with a frying pan. Oh, what's that story if you're willing to share it, Azrael? Alright, so we have all the elements, our background, our race, and our class, and our subclass. And now, now that we have an understanding of who she is, the things that she's seen and done, we get to choose 2 feats, and then we're going to drop a Hemi in this truck. And she's going to be very powerful. Never pass up a friendly wager. My friends know they can rely on me. I'm a predator and the other ships are my prey. Ruthless pirates murdered my captain and crewmates, plundered our ship and left me to die. Vengeance will be mine. My pride will probably lead to my destruction. She is a great weapon user as well. Great weapon master. On your turn, you score a critical hit. You can reduce a creature to 0 hit points with 1. Make a weapon. Okay, an extra attack. And yeah, you know, she might even use her superiority die. And like, oh yeah, I'll add everything back and just dump the -5 penalty in to get +10 to the damage. I think Great Weapon Master is the way forward on this. Great Weapon Master. Heavy Armor Master seems to come to mind as well. I don't really see her as being very magically attuned. Resilient could always be something. But I don't know. Savage Attacker. Once per turn, when you roll damage for a melee weapon attack, you can reroll the damage dice and use... Ooh. You know what? She is a very offensive character. Great Weapon Master and Savage Attacker could be good. Or Sentinel, even. To just stop people from moving. You know, to prevent them from getting away like the pirates did back then. Right? You gotta have that dramatic back then. Hey, 12 for 10, welcome. She beats people to death with the remains of her ship. The Broken Mermaid off the bow of her ship, wrapped in barbed wire, is a great club. Yeah, look, the belaying pin is a club. I mean, we could take some liberties and say that it's a great club that's made from, you know, it's a splinter from the mast, or it's part of the figurehead. You know, she uses the mermaid's bust to bust open heads. Party Thief was sneaking through her house for reasons I don't recall, and she actually made a roll to notice him and then rolled a mega crit when she swung her frying pan at him and killed him. Oh, wow. Whoa! Trustaflump is here. Trustaflump, we were talking about you a little earlier. Were your flumpy tendrils itching or burning? Welcome, welcome. So, yeah, you know, Derek, I think this is a very aggressive person, and I do think that Savage Attacker is going to be the way to go here. Speak of the devil, or the flump, and it shall arrive. Derek. All right, now that we know this, there's no modifications. Neither of those give us any stat buffs. So we're gonna drop our standard array in here, and I think for sure putting that 15 in strength, that's gonna be big. 14 con. Look, she's simple, she's straightforward, she knows what she is, and she's not pretending to be anything different. Social, 13, 12, 10, or 109. You know, 109 decks, that's fine. It's just a throwback to 3rd edition. And 8 for intelligence. I don't think she's the smartest. Right? She takes up all these bets. Her pride will lead to her destruction, so she's more... She thinks more with her heart than her head. And that's fine. So this is going to put strength at 17. This is going to put constitution to 16. And now we have 10 points that we can still drop into this character. Strength is definitely hitting our natural cap at 20. So there's 3 points. We'll drop a 4th point to bring her charisma up so she can still be that rallying force. We have 6 more points. Let's redline her. Look, if she survived a boat being like burnt and destroyed, her captain killed in front of her crew, she's gonna tough this out. And then we're also gonna top off her wisdom a little bit more. Whew, fighters are something else. You know, until you build one, you can often just say, oh, a fighter, whatever, they're a dumb brute. They wear armor and whatever. Whew. All the things she's capable of doing. Oh, goodness. Alright, so her initiative is a +0. Her armor class, I mean, it's a level 19 character. I don't know what special armor she's wearing, but I'm sure it'll give her more than just like an 18 full plate. Or if we start at chainmail, 16. Her proficiency bonus by this level, that's 5 or 6. Let's take a look. Yeah, it is 6. Alright. Her passive perception is 12, 10 plus her perception modifier. That's our latent awareness. 11 for saving throws, 11 for athletics, 0, 0, 0 for dex, except acrobatics, which is 6, because she does have a little bit of flexibility. 11 for her con saves. She's also a dwarf. Try afflicting her with poison, or even necrotic stuff. She'll flex it off. Int, we're gonna copy paste this -1 all the way down. Wisdom is 2 all the way down, with the exception of perception, which is going to be 8. And we're going to continue this trend through charisma, with the exception of intimidation. And there we go. Armor class, I mean, X, it's whatever. She can use a shield, but she's a great weapon fighter, so there's that. You know, the belaying pin, we can also add in weapons, but look, by 19, is she going to be using simple weapons? Doubtful. 109 dex, exactly, Shlomo. She goes through the wall that gets in her way. Armor class, yes. You can call purple worm poison. She calls it light ale, says Shlomo. Yeah, now you're getting into it. Now you're getting into it. And while this is technically spells, we don't cast spells as this style of fighter, but we do have our maneuvers, and our save DC against those we could put in this slot down here is going to be 11 plus 8 is going to be 19. And so that's for our maneuvers. We get 6 D12 as our superiority dice. Ooh. Ooh-wee. Man, she has so much roleplay potential. She has downtime potential. She has combat potential. This is a solid character. And maybe, I don't know, hopefully she helps find some inspiration, or she might sparkle. Yeah, I never thought about that before. No cantrips, no spell slots. Look, she is what she is. Very straight up. Don't even, look at this. No animal companions, no spells. You take a look at her, and you know all the skills and the scars and the history and all of this. This is your character straight up. Welcome, O Sheeps. Alright, so with this, she is going to need a name. If this character has inspired any kind of a name, it could be her proper name. It could be what she's known on the high seas. It could be what she's colloquially, like not even through a big reputation of some kind. It could just be, you know, what a lot of sailors know her as, you know, Mother Rocker, because, you know, she's always on the tempestuous seas, and she can weather that out. Pun kind of intended. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to get up and take a quick break here. We have made an awesome character using this new software. And when we come back, Azrael, I will pop open your 2 Ravnica your 2 Ravnica blocks or boxes before we do anything else, and we'll see. I know that you're chasing those couple figures. I know how much you want them, and this is a brand new brick with brand new potential. Yep, trust the flump. When I come back from break, Azrael sponsored 2 full pulls of Ravnica, and we'll see what we get.